Hello and welcome to your practical guide to navigating Cancer season. So this is going to be a new series that I'll be starting where I'm going to give you a practical guide to navigating actually all the zodiac signs, and this is the first sign in the series, right? I'm doing this because as an astrologer, I think that it's important that we all learn how to use astrology. I feel like there's so much overwhelming information online that kind of makes us feel that, oh, we have these tough and scary transits showing up. And yes, there can be some like uncomfortable transits, right? But I think the beautiful thing about astrology and how you begin to use it ethically, you know what I mean, and with maturity, is that you learn to work with the energies, right? You learn to work with the planets and the transits and the zodiac signs. And I think that the first part to doing that, or the easiest way to get that started, is just to learn what the season is, right? And then how you can maximize your life based on what energies we have going on. Yeah, but that'll be the intro. So we're going to get started with Cancer season. And today we actually have a new moon in Cancer. So if you want to use any of these like tools or tips, over the next 2 to 3 days or whenever you find this, it's never a bad time to do any of these things. I highly suggest it. Right. So first off, I think we should just talk about Cancer in general. Cancer is a water sign and it's a cardinal sign. A cardinal sign means that it starts the season. The first day of Cancer, which is June 21st, it starts the summer season, right? Cardinal signs, they're initiators. Cancer, its planetary ruler is the moon. And it's in that way, it's connected to the ocean, to the mother. When we think about the planet of the moon, the moon is always circling the earth, which makes it kind of like a protector, right? A shield. The moon is our mother. It's always circling us, always protecting us. And then asteroids that come in, they kind of protect Earth from, outside energies, outside asteroids, comets, you name it, right? The moon is Earth's satellite, basically meaning it just circles the earth and protects it. Right? So that's kind of how the planet works. But in astrology, right, the moon is also connected to our souls, right? Like our intuition or our subconscious, right? The unseen realms. In comparison, the sun, it's bright, it's part of the daytime, it's consistent, it's always shining, it's always hot. The moon, it kind of waxes and wanes. Sometimes we can see it. Sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes it's very clear. It's kind of connected to the menstrual cycle. The word men connected to menstrual is actually connected to the moon. And it's also involved with water, right? The tides of the oceans are connected to the cycles of the moon. High tides, low tides, all that good stuff. And in spirituality, water is connected again to our souls, to our emotions, to our subconscious, our feelings, things of that nature. Cancer, it's represented by the crab. And when we think about crabs, right, we think about things with these hard outer shells, or even like a hermit crab, something that finds a spot that's really, really cozy and it goes and grabs things to surround itself with, to protect itself, right? They all also travel sideways. They walk sideways, and sometimes Cancerian energy can come at situations a little bit sideways, right? Just some things to think about. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that we need to know about. Okay, Cancer also rules the 4th house in astrology, right? So Cancer, or the 4th house, is connected to the house, the home, or our foundation, our inheritance, right? If you inherit anything, that can be found there. Your heritage, your lineage, your ancestors, right? Everything kind of like associated with the home and the family, any domestic things, right? All that stuff is found in the 4th house, right? And also the moon in astrology is connected to the mother. I'm not sure if I said that, but yeah, the moon is connected to the mother and the sun is connected to the father. Is there anything else that I need to cover when it comes to Cancer? I think that's about it, right? In the way that Cancer is connected to the moon and oftentimes the mother, I think that the most important thing, because I feel like sometimes the gendering of the language can get a little bit tricky, but I think that the most important thing is that we know that like mothers or the protectors, right? That parental role, it's very nurturing and caring and soft, and it pours into us and it cuddles us and gives us hugs, and it makes sure that our homes are clean and nice and they smell good and they're cozy, right? There's so much that goes into the home that I think about like Cancerian energy, where it's very soft, but it speaks soft words of affirmation into you, right? Yeah. So now that we have a good understanding about Cancerian energy, the fourth house and the moon, and how all of these energies are working together, I think now with that understanding, I can now let you know, how do we maximize, right? How do we use these energies? How do we use Cancer energy and its softness, and its lovely attributes to heighten our lives between, what is it, like June 20th, June 21st, all the way until July 19th or 20th, right? So the first thing that you want to know, again, that nurturing quality, nurture yourself. Find a way to nurture yourself. This could be cooking a home-cooked meal, right? Again, Cancer loves the home. It loves cooking. It loves decorating the house. So going around the house and making sure that your home environment, it's soft, it's cozy, it's clean. Cancers love a clean environment, right? And it doesn't have to be super like polished, but I don't know any Cancers who don't like a clean house, if I'm just being honest, right? But it's not like anal. Yeah, it's just clean enough to feel safe and cozy and comfortable in. Yeah. But again, going to that nurturing, these could be words of affirmation. These could be, I'm getting kind of like an image of like lying in bed and speaking nicely to yourself, getting a nice cup of tea or water and praying over it on how you want your day to go. Again, we're working with a water sign, and water is an element that allows us to transmute energy. It allows us to pull energies from other realms, from other dimensions, and actually bring them into our physical realm and cement them here, right? So yeah, that nurturance is there. And I wrote my notes down because I wanted to make sure that we got all this information. After that, okay, so like there's like Cancer. So Cancers, and y'all can let me know if this resonates for you down in the comment section, but Cancers sometimes can be very, very moody or emotional, and sometimes they don't always trust their emotions, right? And the thing is, like, sometimes they gaslight themselves into it's like, why did that person say that? Or they're feeling this, or, Cancers are very intuitive in that way. But again, because it's like the moon, it's not always clear. We can't always see it with our eyes, but sometimes we can feel it. Right? And in Cancer season, I want to say, allow yourself to feel your emotions, right? Sometimes when we're dealing with our emotions, especially in the society that we live in, we have the habit of like saying that they don't matter or trying to tuck them away or hide them away, which isn't good, right? Allow yourself to feel your emotions. And even if you don't understand them clearly, that's fine, right? Many times we try to mentally process our emotions, and that's just so unhealthy. Our emotions are meant to be felt, right? They're not logical. They're not clear. They're not cut, right? If they were that, they'd be our thoughts, right? And our ideas. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about our moods, our emotions, and our feelings, right? And they come and they go, but we have to allow ourselves to feel them to make sure that we're engaging with them in a healthy and natural and flowing way, right? So if any emotions come up, allow them to flow. Now, again, remember when I said that Cancer is a cardinal sign? The good thing about cardinal signs is that they can start things. So the best thing to do, in the Cancer season is to wake up and to take charge of your emotions, right? Again, when we think about Cancerian energy and then the seasons of Cancer, these energies, they're influencing everybody. They're influencing the entire world. You know what I mean? Like the sun is transiting, one of the highest like energy projectors. It's transiting through the sign of Cancer. So it's projecting all of that energy onto our livelihoods on the planet Earth, right? And so everybody's moody. Everybody's a little bit crabby. Everybody's going to be, a little emotional. Everybody might want to cry a little bit. Everybody might want to pinch or hold a grudge or snap. You know what I mean? So again, going back to that cardinal sign, the best thing for you to do is like when you wake up and when you start your day, take charge of your emotions. Wake up and play like music. Or again, going back to the nurturing, nurture your inner child, nurture your inner self, play, dance, sing, laugh, get creative. Again, all water signs are creative in the way that they take their emotions and they find a way to express them in our physical realities. Right? So take charge of your emotions and you know what's best for you, right? Maybe you need to take a walk to feel emotionally grounded and safe, right? Maybe you need to sing when you wake up first thing in the morning, right? Maybe that warm or cozy or like a bowl of cereal, you know, whatever your nutritious meal is, not just nutritious for your body, but nutritious for your soul and your mood. Start your day off with that. You know what I mean? And that's just going to go so far in ensuring that you have a good and healthy day as you navigate, you know, your days in Cancer season. Right? The other thing is like I love about Cancer energy is that it can be kind of sensual, right? I'm going to dip into a little bit of advanced astrology here, right? The moon, right? All of the planets, all of the celestial bodies, they have signs that they're exalted in, right? Which means that they work really, really well in these signs. The moon is exalted in Taurus, right? And all that means is that like the moon loves being in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is so much about like our physical realities and navigating the five senses in a great way, right? And creating a sense of safety and stability and all these good things. Again, like when you think about the mother or feminine figure in the home, they want the home to feel stable. They want the home to feel safe. And there's so much sensuality there, right? The five senses. It should look good. It should smell good. The food should taste good. The voices we hear, good morning, baby, good morning, sweetheart. You know, the things that we hear should feel good to the spirit. And then even the touches, they're like cozy. This is why I'm wearing this soft, cozy sweater. We're in the middle of a heat wave. It's a little cool right now. But you know, just like these soft and cozy fabrics work really, really well, you know, in Cancer season. They're going to do so much to make you feel at home in this Cancerian energy. So make sure that you feel cozy and then you pay attention to your senses and you do as much as possible to navigate, you know, or to create a sense of stability and safety in the house, in the home, and in your life. And also pay attention to the houses, right? I have Cancer in my 10th house, which talks about like my public perception, you know, my dreams, my aspirations, my career, you know, and the way that people see me on a large scale. So during Cancer season, I'm looking to create a sense of stability around that, right? How do I want to express myself? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel seen? If it's in your first house, that's more, how do I see myself, right? Not how other people are seeing me, but how do I see myself? How do I take care of me, myself, and I, right? If it's in your fourth house, that's your house, your home. I explained the fourth house in the beginning of the video. If it's in the 7th house, right, this could be your relationships or your partnerships. You know what I mean? Like those really close, like intimate relationships that you have in your life that make sure that help you grow and evolve. Yeah. Excuse me. There's so many different areas it can go into. So go to your astrology chart and find out. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so burpy. And find out, you know, in what house you have Cancer. If you want me to go over the houses in astrology, please let me know. I have no problem doing it at all. Right? Okay. What's next on the list? Work with water. Above all, work with water, you know? And I think the thing about like, you should be working with water. I honestly think at all points in the year, it's one of the most magical elements in my opinion. But, you know, when we think about the water signs, you want to work with water. That can be simple in your house. Again, like I was saying, like coffee, tea, juices, cups of water, cereal, soups, stews, all that good stuff, you know, ingesting water and praying over it and like using the energy of water and the vibration of water and the way that it's so mutable can really, really help us. I actually have a video on the magical properties of water. I'll tag that somewhere so that y'all can go watch it if you want to. But this is also natural bodies of water, right? If you have the ability to get to one, especially during Cancer season, like a beach, a lake, a river, even something is like cute is like going and sitting next to a pond and just allowing the feeling of the water to rush past you. It's just so great. It can be so rejuvenating. It can be nurturing, right? And help you process your emotions. Right? Find ways to spend times in water. These are also spiritual baths and showers. And then even if you want to, oh my gosh, I just sprayed that in my eye. Oh my gosh, let's not do that again, child. But a cute little spritz. If you need an emotional reset, taking a spray bottle with some like essential oils or some Florida water. It's like, ooh, girl, I just walked into the room. The vibes are trippy, or I'm leaving work and I'm feeling angsty and frustrated about work and stuff. Spray your little spritz, and shake it off. Water is really going to be very, very helpful during Cancer season. Yes. Honestly, I think that's it. That's all I have in my notes. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. There's nurturing. Also, pay attention to the moon, right? Paying attention to the cycles of the moon, the new moon and the full moon cycles. Again, the moon is going to do its big one in the middle of Cancer season. So this is like some of the best time. If you're going to choose any astrology season to do like moon manifestation work, really pay attention to the astrology that's going on during Cancer season. Right, if you're watching it this year, like Cancer will be having a new moon on Wednesday, June 25th, which is today. You can work with that energy like 2 to 3 days before and after that time. And yeah, just work with the moon, and then even pay attention to what signs that the moon is going through, because it cycles through all 12 zodiac signs, in a span of like 4 weeks. So once it leaves Cancer, it's going to be in Leo, right? Once it leaves Leo, it's going to be in Virgo. How can you maximize the use of the moon when it's in Leo for the 2 to 3 days after it's in Cancer, or the 2 to 3 days that it's in Virgo after it leaves Leo? Right? Definitely work with the moon. And again, if you're looking to do any spell work or anything like that, I would say lean into the water. Always follow your intuition and talk to your guides. If anything, if you feel called to do some candle work, then do that. But just know that during Cancer season, water is always going to have a little bit of boost because we're in a water season. The moon is there working with the water and the tides and all that good stuff. And it's going to be very, very helpful. One other thing I almost forgot, working with your ancestors, right? If you have an altar, feed your ancestors. I actually got a call the other day. My intuition told me, go and feed your ancestors, right? Again, the 4th house, Cancer rules the 4th house. It's connected to your ancestors, your female lineage, your heritage, all that familial stuff. All that cultural information, it's kind of heightened in this season. And even call your family members if you don't live with them. Be sure to spend time connecting with your loved ones and your family and pouring into your the family of your own if you have one. Yeah, but again, if you feel called to feed your ancestors a little bit of extra, invite them into your spell work. Say, hey, ancestors, I'm going for a walk. Please work with me. Cancer season is a really, really good time to do that because, again, the energy to work with your ancestors, it's going to be supported and heightened during the 4 weeks that, the sun is transiting the sign of Cancer. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Let me know if you like this series. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can stay and hang out and watch another video. But yes, I love y'all all. Please enjoy the rest of your Cancer season, or whenever you're watching this, and enjoy your week. Okay. And until next time, this is XOMO. Bye-bye.